Welcome to another ISB show. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Ishana. Another U.S. women's national team match, another friendly against the same opponent, Ishana, Iceland, and the same exact score.
Yes. Not the score I think we were expecting when we started the game, but very happy to come away with that. Just shows how we can pull it together.
So let's talk about this match because it was a crazy match.
Mhm.
We started off, the U.S. women's national team started off with a little bit of a different lineup. And of course, it was a match where they commemorated Kelly O'Hara and her career during halftime. But it started off and it wasn't a party. It definitely wasn't a party because Iceland scored first.
Yeah, I mean it was interesting. We also got Swanson's 100th cap as well as her captainship, which was very interesting. We had tons of new talent throughout the game. Emily Sams had her start. We saw Ryan again. Casey Murphy was lovely to see in goal, and she just made a critical error, which is so unlike her. A bit of a misstep off of that corner, and you knew immediately that she knew exactly what she did. And it's I felt for her because obviously I was really excited to see her there. When you come in as a backup keeper, that is probably the last thing you want to happen. She's excellent in the NWSL, and so that was unfortunate. But I think, she made up for it. But across the board, I think they really struggled in the first half. You have super skilled players here on the pitch, Moultrie, but they weren't able to push the ball up, and they felt like they were playing very tentatively, and they felt like they didn't really know what to do moving forward. And you know, credit to Iceland. I think they have an excellent defense. I mean, obviously their captain plays for Bayern. They have a great keeper. They don't have much going on up top, though, aside from Jan's daughter. And I think if they develop a little bit more on their offense, I think they could be a great, great team.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate start for the U.S. women's national team because you said aside from Jan's daughter, who we can all say is a fantastic player, right? There wasn't much that Iceland was really offering. So for Casey Murphy to make that mistake, it was at an inopportune time, and she just got beat. It was a corner kick, and it wasn't like the Olympico that we saw from the men's national team player Pulisic the other day. But this was
Yes.
just a goalie mistake. This is just a goalie mistake. But then I think credit to the team, like you saw at the first half, it was very slow, and Emma
Yeah.
Hayes again made the right adjustments at halftime with some of the pace that she injected. Most
Yeah.
most importantly, Alyssa Thompson and couple and Horan coming in, a couple other players I'm sure you'll talk about.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Jaden Shaw also didn't have her best game. I thought she was a little bit quiet. I don't love her playing, even if it's a kind of a double nine. I don't love her playing up top. I think but yeah, I mean, here's the thing, like we have some power subs, I will say. Kruger is one of okay, so if we're going with subs, although I do think Alyssa Thompson can be a potential fantastic starter, but I think Kruger is, even though she wasn't subbed in this game, she is such a hardworking, versatile player. She reminds me a lot of Crystal Dunn. And, for her to kind of, when Emily Fox came in and she went outside and went to the opposite side and, was able
Yeah.
to pick up, she's just such a um I don't know. She makes you feel very comfortable there. And I think that is what we needed. Sonnet had a fantastic game, but bring Horan in as a sub. You can tell she's not used to being subbed in. She took a second to get her footing, but I am such a Horan apologist because as much as people say this and that, at the end of the day, she self-corrects very quickly and she knows what to do with the ball. Like she knows how to be a playmaker, and that is what we were lacking in the first half. And then obviously, I know we're going to mention Emma Sears, who had her debut and got an assist and a goal. She killed it. I mean, she's killed it. She's killing it at Louisville, but man, what a way to come out.
Yeah, I think the two players and I was actually going to mention this in this match, the two players that I think like really impressed Thompson and Sears. But like you said, I think in the second half, let's talk about the goals because the goals were fantastic.
Yeah, very funny. Also, talk about power subs. I think Lynn Williams, she is just such a scrappy player, and she just produces. She has so much speed up top. I think she's excellent to bring in those critical moments. We've had now a game of three. We've had three goals off of a Sophia Smith mistake, including Sophia Smith herself scoring in the last game off of feeding it directly into the player. It comes back and
That
Sophia
was
Smith.
very interesting. Yeah, it was very interesting because Sophia Smith actually shanks an opportunity, which actually lands up in Sears for the third goal. And the previous opportunity, she shanks and Lynn Williams scores. So it's, the players are in the right position off Sophia Smith shanks.
Yeah, and it's funny because, and again, we're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. She's obviously coming off this ankle injury, and the thing about Smith is she is a very inconsistent player, but a very fire player no matter what. Like, she is excellent, and look, if we can pick it up like that and put it in, it's great. And I think Lynn Williams also had a lovely assist to Horan, who put that away. And I think Swanson, I mean, she's always great, but in the first half, we were really seeing, I felt like she was just kind of doing most of the work. So it was nice to see people step up. I think Emma Sears could be a great sub for Trinity Rodman when she gets healthy. It was nice to have that speed on the wings. And I mean, look, we have a team that is just loaded with backups and potential people to step in and to come in and pick up the slack and then end up scoring 3-1 is pretty awesome.
It's an incredible game because we thought we were watching this match, of course, and we thought, oh man, is the team going to get it done? This is going to be their first loss under Emma Hayes. It was at half. It wasn't looking good. And then these players come in and they inject so much energy into the match. And then at that point in time, it was almost like a different game. And then the US scores 1, 2, 3, and suddenly it's a match that was maybe they were thinking about them losing to a comfortable win in the span of 20 minutes. And
I
that's how
mean,
good this team and how exciting this team is, Ashana. And I think compared to where we were during the World Cup, this is incredible.
um so incredible, and also just the amount that players have advanced. I mean, we've been talking about this, but Alyssa Thompson is doing great right now at Angel City, and even seeing her, we got to see her live. I mentioned this last video. You could just see how much more confidence that she is playing with. And I think that is, it's like we actually have faith in our subs now. And I got to say, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I thought Sonnet had a very, very good game. And yeah, it's again having this mix of vets. And when I say vets, I even mean players like Alyssa Thompson at this point to kind of come in and just know how the framework goes. It's helping. And yeah, I mean, I thought Coffee played well, but I think we were talking about how that was probably a good substitution to make, also to take her off after the first half.
Yeah, I think when you go to goal down, the recipe is now you take off Coffee and then you bring in, some players that perhaps are a little bit more attacking minded. And I think that was a good move. Overall, though, I think it's a team that you said now we're starting to see depth. We're starting to see players who can step in. Kruger, you mentioned, can easily step into that slot. There's across the board players, and now if you develop players like Thompson and Sears, even when Rodman's back, Sears might be a nice person to slot in for Rodman when Rodman's not able to play.
Yeah, and I think it's also nice that we have a nice, whether it's Sonnet or Kruger or Lavelle or some of these older players, it is nice to see that they still have a very meaningful and additive place in the team if they are to step up because we need that. And as far as Lindsay Horan goes, until Kat Macario rehabs, and I look, I think she unnecessarily gets a lot of flack that she doesn't necessarily need, because I think people kind of forget how much playmaking she actually does, and that is something that is a hard thing to replicate in terms of whether it's just her knowing the chemistry of what's going on with the players and understanding that. It could just be that, but for where we are, I think she's solid in that sense.
Yeah, it was
Obviously
cute.
everyone is always like, we need help in the midfield, and I get it, but I mean, it's super exciting. In fact, it's like almost like I'm feeling badly for so many players who are those bubble players who could easily be on the team, and they might just get cut just because we're loaded with talent. But again, I want to say, like I said, Iceland, they could be an incredible team. And if they just developed their attacking qualities a little bit more.
Yeah. But in the end, the U.S. women's national team, of course, get the victory, and they'll be in action again, Shauna, later this week. Probably a little bit of a different look in that match as well. And so we'll see how they do. For those of you enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Shauna, any last minute thoughts before we finish up here?
I'd like to see Sanchez play next match. And I think Emma Hayes did say she's hoping to get everybody on the pitch. And like I said, we didn't see her play last in the Olympics, in the World Cup, even though she was on the squad. So I want to see what she's offering. And credit to Emma Hayes. I think she's done a great job managing also these players with their schedules and managing injuries and everything. I think she's done a good job with the rotation. So
great. So another win for the U.S. women's national team, another win in the books. And we'll say it again. Go USA. See you all next time.